Ew. Just checking in. Oh, my hair is a little crazy. Sorry. It is Sunday, the 16th of March, and I am checking in to say hello, happy Sunday, day of rest. I just want to share with you some of my ups and downs of the last week. I've been continuing to stay on my program, feeling really, really good. I have not got on the scale yet because I just can't deal with getting on the scale. I'm just not about getting on the scale because I don't want my value of my person to be about a number. I can tell by my clothes and everything that I'm feeling so much better. And let's face it, I have like 70 pounds to lose, so it's going to take many, many months to get where I'm going. Um, I had a little bit of carbs this week because after the first 2 weeks of the South Beach plan, which is the plan that I decided to go with for a couple weeks to kind of clean my system out, lets you begin to have healthy carbs, brown rice, fruits, and certain other things, baked potatoes. No, actually baked potatoes, no, sweet potatoes, I mean. Anything that's a healthy whole wheat alternative to white carb sugar. So I really want to try to still stay on the phase that has nothing except protein and vegetables as long as I can, and I am going to do that. But I have had like a couple teaspoons of brown rice, and I had a piece of pita bread, which I think may even been a white carb completely because it wasn't whole wheat pita bread. And then today, I have a friend that came into town, and we went out, and we got burgers and onion rings, and I had some onion rings. Um, and I think initially I could set myself up for failure with that and feel really bad about having those onion rings because, you know, we're taught good and bad, and there's good food and there's bad food, and you're a good person if you're skinny and you're a bad person if you're overweight. It's such a bullshit. Anyway, what I'm really trying to work on through my hypnotherapy group that I'm also involved in, because I believe in like earthy and spiritual healing, um, I have learned that it is so important to train your unconscious to be conscious. And I know I've also mentioned this in other videos, but that's really not easy because you could consciously think of something that you know is the right thing, and then the next time you think about it could be weeks later. So the whole process is to make it come up in your mind more frequently and think about it more frequently. I've been listening to some CDs, getting myself into deep, deep relaxation, uh, a meditative state where I can absorb things. And oddly enough, it works. Anything works if you work it. I'm absorbing so much, like putting my fork down in between my food, eating in each bite, not eating in front of the computer or watching TV or doing anything else, so that eating is eating. And I'm also learning how to eat for nutrition and survival value and not eat out of emotional wanting to eat, which is a major thing because I'm overweight because obviously I emotionally eat all the time. Things that have gone on in my past, it's just become a big habit, and I turn to food for support. So I don't know whether I'm hungry or not. So I've been really working on feeling my hunger gauge, feeling, you know, that I've eaten enough and stop before I'm stuffed. Uh, the big one is really putting down my fork in between each bite, and I'm not perfect. I've noticed sometimes I have 4 or 5 bites before I remember to put my fork down. I mean, that's the kind of crap I'm talking about. It's so, so hard to retrain your mind to change. Instead of doing the bad habits, you have to replace those habits. So that's what I'm working on mostly. I feel better. I feel a little gross after I ate those onion rings because society says that once you eat anything, or the way I am, it's all about black or white thinking. It's like, oh, usually I think, oh, I ate that. Let me eat as much as I can for the day and start over tomorrow. But honestly, I don't feel that way. I felt like I ate the onion rings because I wanted them out of enjoyment. I didn't overindulge in them. I had some. They tasted good. And yeah, it went through my mind, those old records, ugh, you ate that. I even felt a little nauseous after because I haven't had any like fried food or grease like that like in 3 weeks. But then I just said to myself, I replaced those old records with, it's okay. You are not on a diet. You're on a food plan. You're on a change of life. You're on a change of life to eat when you're hungry for nutritious reasons and not eat out of emotional behavior. And as long as you don't eat out of emotional behavior, it doesn't really matter what you eat. And yes, doesn't matter if you're skinny or fat, the world really should be eating fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins if we all want to live long lives, disease-free, cancer-free, and I truly believe that. And I think that you too should adopt this way of thinking. It has nothing to do with being fat or skinny, or getting fat or getting skinny. It has to do with all that shitty food, all that processed food, should be eaten in very, very small quantities. And it has nothing to do with big or small. It has to do with what happens to our bodies, because there are plenty of thin people that eat a bunch of crap, and even though they look thin, they're not healthy. So it really comes down to health. I want to improve my health, and I think as a result, the weight will come off. Very, very, very excited about this venture because I feel so positive and I feel so different, and I will not dare beat myself up about eating something that's not considered good, because really there is no good and bad. There's decisions that are better for you or decisions that are more risque. The risque decisions should be used small doses, and the better decisions should be used in the big dosages. So if you can balance that out, you can have stuff that's not celery and apples and, you know, a piece of fish or a piece of chicken or meat. There are other alternatives, but it's about getting in check with why you're eating. And is it because you're hungry, or is it because your emotions are hungry? And that's really what I want to start gearing this channel towards, because it's about getting to the root of the evil. Nobody would choose to be overweight because it's more taxing, it's less accepted, it's very prejudiced against. So it's like, if people are overweight, look at people and compassionately understand that there's some pain underneath that, just like of an alcoholic or a drug addict or a gambling addict or a shopping addict. It's all behavior not to be in touch with your authentic self. And I want to get in touch and continue this journey with my authentic self. I can't even say it. It's Sunday. Authentic self. Um, Other things I've noticed is that I haven't had like really sugar in 3 weeks, as far as like candy, cookies, anything like that, and I have been craving some of that in the last couple days. I do think it's around the time of that special time that girls get, so I've always used that as an excuse to just eat like haywire. So this will be a different excuse, not allowing myself that, because there's no reason for that. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was how hard this journey is for me, and how hard I know it is for you, because it's funny, I walk my dog every day and I look in somebody's like glass window that's tinted so I can see myself, which they can probably see me too. They probably think I'm a fool. And I look and I gauge how I feel every day with how big or small I look, which is totally cruel and ridiculous. But I still look through it because it's a habit like anything else. And, you know, I do see changes in me, but 3 weeks ago when I was eating everything in sight, I must have walked by really quickly and not looked hard at how big I was. Now that I've been on the program and feeling great for 3 weeks and making these changes, it's just a drop of the bucket for somebody who has 75 plus pounds to lose. But I can tell you this, that your mind plays frickin' tricks on you. It is so poisonous. Don't give in to those tricks. I walked by that sliding door after 3 weeks of being so good and feeling so connected and feeling better about who I am. And all of a sudden I look in the sliding window and I feel like so fat. And like it's so disappointing because it lets you know that you have a long way to go. And it sets you up for wanting to fail. But you have to like fight through your mind tricks, because you know, and I know, if you have no carbs and you're true to yourself for 3 weeks, your body is better off, and essentially you will lose inches in weight. But your mind plays tricks on you and says, oh, look how big you are. You worked so hard for 3 weeks and you're so big, because we all want instant gratification. Instant gratification, I'll say it again and time again, is poison. Poison ivy. Instant gratification is a killer. It lets you take what's good now and think about no consequences, just knowing how the feeling feels. But that's not how life works. So I really had to meditate and tell myself, okay, you do look really big, and you are big. And it's not like you have 30 pounds to lose, where after 3 weeks people would start noticing. When you have 75 pounds to lose, people don't start noticing until 3 or 4 months. And it's only been 3 weeks. And then I start thinking, oh my God, it's only been 3 weeks. But time really goes by so slow. I'm going to try not to think about it. I'm going to be true to myself. I'm not going to be hard on myself. And I'm going to embrace this journey. Whether I have onion rings or a donut or anything else that I have, instead of turning it into eating out of a sick emotion and binging out until the next day, giving myself permission to hurt myself, I'm going to enjoy that moment, enjoy that piece of something that I wanted, because I'm really trying to be very, very mindful about my choices. So if it comes to a point that I really feel like I need to have something processed that's delicious, that I'm trying to avoid for the most part for the betterment of my health, I'm going to have it. I'm going to have that piece for the moment. I'm not going to need to have 10 other pieces, and I'm just going to enjoy it. And then I'm going to go back to my regular way of life, which is fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins, because fat or skinny, that is healthy. Happy Sunday. I would love, 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 love to have some comments. And I hope for all of you that may be starting a new food plan or a new way of life tomorrow, Monday, which for me has been every Monday for 38 years, it feels so good to be making this video on a Sunday and knowing I don't have to start anything, because I've already started. And now this is a new way of life. So I don't have to start any diets anymore. There's no such thing as that. I just have to keep living to my truest self every day. Please leave comments if you have any questions, if you want to know the foods I'm eating, anything I'm doing, my exercising. I'd be so happy to share and to help. Have a great, great afternoon. Enjoy.